One of the cringiest trends in sneaker culture in the past few years has been the hate on the Panda Dunk. And so I thought we would celebrate beridding ourselves of this trend by making fun of the different types of sneakerheads that hate on the Panda. No doubt you guys have seen countless videos of people being interviewed at sneaker shows where they are asked the question, what's the worst sneaker release of all time?
What's the worst sneaker of all time?
The worst sneaker release of all time.
Worst sneaker of all time.
And almost without fail, every other person says the worst sneaker release of all time is the Panda Dunk.
The pandas.
The motherfucking Panda Dunk. Nah, pandas, we might need to get them up out of here.
It's so cringe, it's so predictable, and it is filled with irony.
Worst sneaker of all time.
You know, Panda Dunks.
All of these people hate on the Panda Dunks because they are a trend. But at this point, every other person is hating on the Panda Dunks, making it a trend unto itself. And so the same people that are hating on a popular trend are themselves taking part in a popular trend.
Worst sneaker release of all time? The pandas. The pandas are ruining sneaker culture, bro.
The first type of person that hates on the Panda Dunk is the type of person that just can't stand it when something becomes popular. These are the same type of people that really love a song or a movie or a TV series as long as nobody else is talking about it. But as soon as that song starts to be popular, as soon as people start talking about that same movie or TV series, they swiftly move on and then denounce it. These are the type of people that are only interested in something as long as it is cool, underground, and not being spoken about. The next type of person that hates on the Panda Dunk is going to be the sneaker reseller. We all know that resellers are keen to gas up sneakers so as to continue to keep the demand high. But as soon as that same sneaker is available and everybody has a pair, they no longer want to gas them up. And in fact, will quickly turn to tearing them down. Next up, we have the bandwagoner. The bandwagoner is an interesting one. It's usually the type of person that can't really think for themselves. If you asked this person to give you a reason as to why they hate the Panda without referencing its popularity, they couldn't give you a straight answer. Quite oftentimes, these are kids or grown men with kids' brains. The irony, of course, with this type of hater is they will denounce the Panda as the worst sneaker release of all time whilst simultaneously wearing Pandas or a very similar looking sneaker.
You know, Panda Dunks.
Next up you have the Gatekeeper. This is usually an old head, a type of sneakerhead that looks at the Panda as a kind of gateway sneaker. The Gatekeeper can't stand the fact that so many more people are getting interested into sneakers via the Panda Dunk. Now think about it for a moment. What really is so bad about the Panda Dunk? I mean, just look at it. It's a classic silhouette in a very accessible, wearable colorway. How can you possibly say this thing is ugly? So let's take a good look at some of these people.
Don't walk up to me with no pandas on.
You're not a fan?
Not at all. Cheapest, ugliest, most basic.
Okay.
Who wants a basic bit?
First of all, this guy is high as hell. I think unless this guy is holding a sign up saying free Lamborghinis, he's not going to have to worry about any type of girl running up on him. I will say though, I give respect for wearing the Bin 13s.
You meet a girl for the first time, what's the worst sneaker she could be wearing?
Pandas.
This guy already had the response lined up. As soon as she started asking the question, he already knew what he had to say.
If you meet a girl for the first time, what's the worst shoe she could be wearing?
Pandas.
Bro, this young man is the perfect example of what I was talking about before. Look at what he's wearing. He's not wearing Panda Dunks, but he's wearing a very similar colorway to the Panda Dunks. Just think about how stupid this is. You're saying this particular sneaker is the worst sneaker release of all time, and you have a shoe on that is nigh on identical.
Meet a girl for the first time, what's the worst sneaker she could be wearing?
Worst sneaker she'd be wearing, I gotta say the Panda Dunks.
Right, I'm not fashionable, all right? In fact, I'm like the antonym of trendy, but this guy right here, I mean, this is some get dressed in the dark type stuff going on right here. And let's also not forget that bro has himself on some SB Dunks. He's got Dunks on.
Because everyone has them, and they're below, almost below retail already.
And notice how he says they're below retail, as if the resale value of a sneaker has any bearing on its aesthetic appeal. This is another thing that's problematic with a lot of these sneaker takes, is that so many of us have become conditioned to value a sneaker based solely on its resale value rather than how cool it looks or how it makes us feel.
If you were to meet a girl for the first time, what's the worst shoe she could be wearing?
The worst shoe, what would you say?
The pandas.
Another person saying that a dunk is the worst sneaker of all time whilst simultaneously wearing dunks.
What's the worst shoe she could be wearing?
Panda dunks.
I mean, this guy's got the big red boots on. Come on. The only reason he's wearing the big red boots is because they were a trend for a minute. They went viral, everybody had a pair, and so to denounce a sneaker as being the worst of all time just because it's popular and trendy whilst wearing a sneaker that's only cool because it was trendy for a minute is the height of hypocrites.
Worst sneaker of all time.
I'm gonna have to go with pandas again.
With pandas again, she knows this is a common take. She knows this is a bot take. And yet again, another person denouncing dunks whilst simultaneously wearing dunks. Now, I've only just taken a few examples here. These are ones that I just happened to come across in the past day or two. If you go onto these pages and search out panda dunk hate or whatever, you will find an absolute plethora of videos just like this. And so I think it's safe to say that a lot of the hate that's generated towards panda dunks has been generated because it is a trend to hate on them, which is, as we've discovered in this video, the heights of irony, considering that the reason that these cats hate on them is because they're trendy. It is a nice shoe. It is a clean colorway, incredibly wearable. It's of very little wonder that the shoe is as popular as it is. Now that it's accessible and people can't make money off them reselling them, they have been democratized, meaning anyone and everyone can get a pair of them now if they want to. And so because they're no longer valuable or rare or coveted, people don't want to show them love anymore, and I think that is cringe. I think the panda dunks are fine. In fact, I'm almost keen to go and get myself a pair just to beat up at this point, but let me know what you guys think about the panda hates down below, because I think after this video we can now draw a line under it. It is done, it is dead, let's move on. Thank you guys as always for taking the time to watch the video. Hope you had some fun, hope you had a couple of laughs, and I will see you on the next video. Take care for now, and peace.